The flooded basement rescue. The rain had come in relentless torrents, an unyielding deluge that turned the city into a vast, flowing river. Streets flooded, trees bowed under the weight of water, and the earth seemed to groan beneath the weight of nature's fury. In the midst of this chaos, George watched his neighbor's house. Hours had passed as the storm battered the city, but his mind was fixed on one thing. The tiny creature trapped below, stranded in the flooding basement. He knew the flood was rising, creeping inch by inch, threatening to drown her. The storm's fury was deafening, but inside that darkness, the faintest cry still echoed, the desperate, trembling meow of a frightened cat. Meow! Meow! Without hesitation, George pushed through the storm, his boots sinking into mud, the wind tearing at his clothes. Every step was a gamble against the merciless floodwaters. The basement door was swollen and cracked, an open wound in the house of face. George pushed it aside and stepped inside. Dark, cold, and alive with menace. This was no place for a man. It was a nightmare, soaking, swirling, threatening to claim whatever life it could. The floodwater lapped at his knees as he waded in, the stench of mud and decay filling his nostrils. He could see her, tiny, white fur streaked in dirt, clinging to a floating plank, her eyes wide with terror. Her tiny paws beat against the water's force, desperate to find footing to hold on. Her voice was a whisper, lost somewhere between hope and despair. George's heart clenched. She was stranded, helpless, the flood threatening to drown her in seconds. The storm raged, deafening, unforgiving. His own body was weak, his lungs burning, but fury and love surged within him at that moment. He launched himself into the chaos, fighting the currents, dodging floating splinters, debris crashing around him. His arms stretched out, fighting the ocean of water and despair. His every move a gamble with death itself. His hands closed around her trembling body, tiny, fragile, yet fiercely alive. He clutched her close, feeling her tiny heartbeat pounding beneath his rough paws, her fear and her will to survive. With mighty effort, George pulled her upward, battling the current that wanted to swallow them both. Every muscle screamed, every gasp was a prayer, every second a battle against death. Finally, with a mighty heave, he broke free from the flood, emerging from the chaos with her in his arms, dripping and trembling but alive. He staggered onto the porch, the storm still raging behind him, but in his arms was a fragile miracle. The floodwater surged around his battered boots, yet he refused to let despair take root. In that moment, cold, soaked, utterly exhausted, George knew he had fought the fury of nature, and he had won. Because sometimes the fiercest storms are fought not just with fists and grit, but with the heart that refuses to give up. That night, a battered man and a tiny creature against the dark proved that hope, perseverance, and compassion are the greatest weapons of all.